Hello, good evening. You're watching ITV News Central. The firm that makes Cadbury's chocolate says it's going to invest £75 million to make its Bourneville factory in Birmingham more competitive, but only if workers agree to the changes. Today, the union representing staff said it welcomed the chance of new investment and is optimistic that jobs won't go in the push to make the factory more efficient. Our business correspondent Mark Goff reports.
This is the largest investment in 30 years at the factory in Birmingham, and according to Cadbury owners Mondelez, it'll secure the factory for many more years to come. But it'll only invest if the 2,000 plus workers agree to changes and cost cutting. If they do, Mondelez will spend £75 million on new production lines. The current ones aren't quite as old as these in this archive film, but they are out of date. And making chocolate here costs double than that at their other factories in Germany and Western Europe.
Well, Bourneville has a fantastic heritage, but we do need to improve our competitiveness here if we are to remain a chocolate manufacturing centre here for the next generation. This £75 million investment is fantastic news and is designed to keep Bourneville at the heart of British chocolate manufacturing. But it is dependent upon consultations with the workforce, because at the moment production costs here can be as high as twice as high as those of our competitors, and even twice as high as some of our sister factories in Western Europe.
The union here is pleased and hopeful that cost cutting and greater efficiencies won't mean redundancies.
With any new technology, there's a risk of job losses, but at the moment we've not gone into the discussions around that. We're just welcoming the news that we're getting this £75 million investment at the moment. It's essential we get investment because a lot of the plant and equipment is outdated and we can't compete with it, so we need the new investment to enable us to compete with the rest of the craft network.
If the Cadbury factory gets this investment, it could lead to more production and possibly more jobs. And it's not the only investment taking off. At Birmingham Airport, the new runway extension was being admired today by the Chief Secretary to the Treasury. The longer runway means Birmingham can get long-haul flights, but a recent report said no to a second runway for the time being, preferring expansion at London Airport instead.
Well, the airport has a vast capacity to expand already, a lot of capacity to take up more passengers with its existing runway. With this extension, it'll be able to do even more. I'm here today because this sort of infrastructure is what is driving economic growth forward, not just here in Birmingham, but across this region.
Short-haul flights will be using the new runway soon as it gets longer, with the first long-haul flight taking off in June. Mark Goff, ITV News, Birmingham.
West Bromwich Albion striker Nicholas Anelka has requested a personal hearing from the Football Association after being charged over his goal celebration against West Ham. The Frenchman denies this Quinnell gesture was anti-Semitic. He faces a potential 5-match ban if found guilty. 5 police officers who were investigated for the way they dealt with a protected witness involved in a murder trial in 2008 will not be charged. The Independent Police Complaints Commission looked at how the officers acted before the trial of 5 men over the death of Kevin Nunes, who was shot dead in Staffordshire in 2002. The CPS found there was insufficient evidence to bring charges. The involvement of 9 other officers who all held senior positions at Staffordshire Police before the trial is still being investigated. A 16-year-old arrested on suspicion of carjacking a woman at knife point in Birmingham has been released on police bail. Officers were called to Handsworth Wood on Tuesday evening after receiving a call from a woman driver. They found her Seat Leon abandoned a short distance from where she'd been held up. Police are appealing for anyone with information to come forward. The firm that runs Oakwood Prison near Wolverhampton has denied claims that a disturbance earlier this month was a full-scale riot. A prison officer has told the BBC G4S, which runs Oakwood, lost control of an entire wing on the 5th of January. But the firm's told ITV News Central it was not a riot. It involved no more than 20 prisoners.
Our briefing was that the prisoners were armed and dangerous, and they had completely taken over an entire wing of the prison. There were pool tables that had been broken up, iron bars lying around, wires had been strung up as tripwires at leg level and at chest and neck level. I did hear prisoners shouting, "We're ready for you. Come on, we're going to get you."
Well, meanwhile, a prisoner who used a shard of glass to launch an attack on staff at another West Midlands jail run by G4S has been found guilty of wounding and assault. Ahmed Sharif Jama al-Sharif, who's 53, smashed a television in his cell before attacking officers at HMP Birmingham in November 2012. He's due to be sentenced next month. An inquest has heard how 19 opportunities were missed to spot that the ejection seat, which fired a Red Arrow's pilot to his death, was in an unsafe position. Flight Lieutenant Sean Cunningham, who was from Coventry, died in November 2011 after his ejection seat activated while on the ground at RAF Scampton in Lincolnshire. The inquest also heard there was a failure to notice a safety pin had been wrongly installed. The hearing continues. Detectives investigating the disappearance of Madeleine McCann have sent an official request for information to police in Portugal. Madeleine from Rothley in Leicestershire went missing from the Algarve in 2007. It's thought officers want to speak to men who made a large number of phone calls on the night she disappeared. Works began on a multi-million-pound shopping centre in Walsall that will bring a new Primark and Co-op store to the town centre. The development of the old square shopping centre will take just over a year to complete and will create up to 150 new jobs. Well, time now for a look at the weather forecast as we head into the weekend. Here's Lucy.
Hello, well, as we move closer to the weekend, it's all about the rain, I'm afraid. Rain on the way tomorrow and on Sunday as well, with a bit of respite in between on Saturday. You can see the rain's been approaching through today from the west, and it's going to be making progress over the next few hours and making its way eastwards through the day tomorrow. And then it will be replaced with some clearer skies and a few showers for Saturday. So as for the rest of tonight, well, the cloud is going to build and that rain will roll in. Before it arrives, we're seeing some quite frosty conditions, but that rain really sets the scene for tomorrow. Definitely brolly weather tomorrow morning. Some quite heavy downpours as well, especially late morning before the rain gradually eases a little bit anyway in the afternoon. It's still going to be cloudy and quite damp though. Temperatures reaching 10 degrees Celsius. Not bad for the time of year. See you tomorrow.
Well, that is all we have time for tonight. As ever, the best way to keep thoroughly up to date is via our website, the address on the screen, itv.com/central. We are back bright and early tomorrow morning. Until then, from the late team, it's goodbye and good night.